Hi, I'm Mykayla. I'm 28, I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I'm a singer-songwriter and I have moved to Berlin just over 2 months ago. I sing pop music with a little bit of soul. All my lyrics are very emotive. They're pretty much journal pages, heart on sleeve every time I step on stage. But I love it, I wouldn't have it any other way.
The one to light the match. From now on, all the lessons that I learned, I'm learning them from scratch. From the flame, what's left is mine to keep, and it might all fall apart. At least the one who tore it down was me.
I reached out to Dan within the first 2 weeks of moving to Berlin. I was looking and on the hunt for open mics, but because the open mics, a lot of them are just you show up and you hope that there's a place for you. I was looking for somewhere that I could have my name on the bill, so I knew what time my set was. I could invite friends to come along because it was a guaranteed set. So I originally reached out to him and he got back to me and we set a date, and that's how I got the opportunity to play. I've been singing for as long as I can remember. I didn't used to really know what it was. I used to sit down at the piano back in my mum's house and just sit and tinkle and do whatever. And then I started doing singing lessons and realised how much I loved it. I've listened to a lot of Etta James and Aretha Franklin growing up, and the soul in their voices used to just make me melt. And I wanted to do that. So I just continued to sing and write music, and yeah. It's my first one since moving here, so there's a little bit of extra stress. I think I put a lot of expectations on myself that, you've got to make a good impression to Berlin, but being on stage just made me feel at home again, and so now I felt really good about it. I think that the vibe of the room from when I first got up was set me up for success because everyone was so welcoming and lovely. I also got to have a good chat to a few of the other performers, which made me feel really calm. It's not something I'm necessarily used to in Melbourne.
Amazing performance, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Proud.
I have actually never been to Berlin before I moved here, but I did a lot of reading about it and followed some artists and things just small-time artists who speak about it really highly in terms of creativity, which is amazing. It's been exactly what I thought it would be, which is great.
And what we do here is me and a couple of friends, we all have a musical background, and then we started doing parties 15 years ago in Berlin to invite musicians to perform on different stages, and we were always looking for a place where we could call music our home and invite other musicians to have the same experience, especially when they're at the beginning of their career and they're looking for a place where they're welcome and an audience that would embrace their art. And that's when we started. I think it's 12 years ago. We rented a place and we built a stage, and we were really keen on creating to have a really nice sound system, and we have a lot of passion to give a really nice sound and something that is really unique for Berlin in this kind of size, because usually live stages in bars are more something in the corner and you have a little sound speaker and it's more playing along, but we wanted to really put the artist in the center of the attention, and that's when we started to book shows, newcomer artists, and at some point we thought it would be really great to have a singer-songwriter night. And as I have a background not only in music but also in hosting stuff. I really wanted to take this under my wing, and so since about 10 years, I'm inviting every week like 4 newcomers to the bar. They're usually from all over the world. That's kind of the cool thing about Berlin, because there's a lot of expats and musicians who come here and looking for places like ours, form and find a new audience and connect with other musicians and find like a proper stage to do their art. And I'm really proud and really happy. We still are growing, and there's a lot of positive feedback from the audience and also from the artists. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing here.
So I went to a comedy show with my best friend. We were looking to get out. It was an expat comedy show because we're both just moved from the Netherlands after Australia. And I was sitting in the room. The Art City people in Berlin was absolutely gorgeous. It was nice and small. I saw an upright piano and I sat in the audience and counted each member in the audience, and I turned to my friend and I was like, I reckon that I could sell this place out. We're going to try our best. So the night went on, we had a really great night at that event. And the next day I DM'd the venue and I gave them my proposal of an event for my single release. But I wanted to make it a bit more than just a single release because I am new here and I don't really have a community yet. I wanted to organise an event that would have my music that we could celebrate. I wanted to bring in a different artist to open for me as well so we could celebrate their music. But the idea behind the event is more of a come in, there will be music playing, but also I want you to speak to the person next to you. I want to ask what your name is. I want to introduce myself. And I think that that's a really great way to build a community in a brand new city. So I DM'd the venue. I went in the next day and he was really helpful for me, and I literally just sat down, told him what I wanted to do, and he said, let's do it. So we've started the process there. It was it's scary, the idea of not knowing anyone and trying to fill a room of 30 people, but it's a challenge that I wanted to be able to do, so that's where it came about. As a musician, life in Berlin is very different. I feel like the community here is so supportive. Compared to back home, there is that support, but because we're so far away from everywhere else in the world, there's definitely tall poppy syndrome. And if you're really good at what you do, people shoot you down instead of celebrate you. Whereas here, every time I get up to play, people are either complimenting me or inviting me to their next event or wanting to collaborate, which is something that I haven't experienced before. And it's so warm and almost overwhelming. I remember coming home from Bar Bobu the first night and I spoke to my partner and I was like, but do you think that they want anything from me for them offering me this or this documentary? I was like, what do you think that he's getting out of this from me? And my partner just said, well, maybe you're just a good person and they want to be a part of that as well. And I think that community is so special and something that should be guarded. Yeah, it's halfway across the world and it's very different.
Weathered the storm, under shelter I built with my 2 hands, danced with the devil. He came in the form of a man, picked up the pieces. It was up to me to rebuild brick by brick the gaping hole that they drilled. I find peace knowing no one's coming to save me. No need to fix, 'cause I was never really broken. From now on, if my world's gonna burn, I'll be the one to light the match. From now on, all the lessons that I learned, I'm learning them from scratch.
I think that the community in terms of musicians here, everyone is just super supportive. I don't think that anyone's trying to tear anyone down. I think that everyone's just looking to work together, which is amazing. The couple of times that I have played on the street, I think that people in Berlin are very used to there being music and sound on the street for the most part. So everyone's been really supportive for me so far. The only thing that I do find a bit tricky is when people do come up to me, they're speaking in German and I don't understand it yet, so I'm not sure if they're being nice or not nice, but we are slowly learning, and I usually will stop after that song, find that person and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I only speak English, and I've only had positive feedback so far, but sometimes it can be a bit daunting. You're just standing there playing and people are either yelling loudly at you or trying to speak to you. When you don't understand, you don't know if it's good, bad or ugly, you're not quite sure. So I have never busked before my first time on the streets of Berlin. I have been lucky enough to wander around and see so many musicians doing that and just putting their art out while they're just on the street, on your day-to-day, and you can make someone's day by just being out there, walking through and hearing a song that might be familiar or one of their own. And I think that it's such a beautiful thing that you don't necessarily expect. So one day I just woke up and I put my keyboard on my back, I took my friend down with me and I decided to start playing. And it was honestly really scary. Playing on stage, people come out to expect there to be live music, whereas on the street, they don't expect you to be there. So you hope that you're a welcome sound instead of a not so welcome sound. I think the hardest part for me, honestly, which sounds really silly, is setting up, because it's scary. That's the scariest part for me. You're setting up, people are watching, they're thinking to themselves, what's she about to do? Is she going to be good? Is her keyboard playing going to be great? Is her voice going to sound good? Being unamplified is also a bit of a challenge for me because I have quite a strong voice, and trying to project that. I can't do the nice soft and fluffy sounds. I just have to be as loud as possible to kind of cut through. But once you get started, I find myself losing myself in it. It's a really good way to rehearse and get instant feedback from people while they're walking past, good, bad or otherwise. But afterwards I had that adrenaline rush that I get same as coming off stage. It was amazing. I do still find, it's been 3 or 4 times I've gone out on the street and it's still that initial setup, the almost anticipation from people just walking past doing their shopping or doing normal things. I get really worried that they're setting these expectations for me when really I think it's just myself setting those expectations to be good on the street. It varies very much. I think it's been 4 times that I have busked depending on the spot. I live in Charlottenburg, so because my keyboard's quite heavy, try and find places that are close. First time was on the main street. Don't ask me to pronounce it because I don't know how. And I made €20 on the first go, which was amazing in half an hour because I set that I'm only going to do 30 minutes. So after that, I was like, this is great. If I do this every day, that pays for my groceries. The next time I went, I think I only made €10. So I kind of changed up the spot on the third go and made €3.50 in the same amount of time. Do I think that if I had played longer, it would have changed? I don't think necessarily, it just depends on the day. I then moved location and started busking at the beginning of a park, and that day I made €15, but then the next day I made €5. So it's very inconsistent. I think that if I were to do it full time, it would be really difficult to say pay rent or bills or things like that unless you're in a real hub of a place. But because I'm only just kind of starting, I am unamplified, so it's just my voice and the keyboard. I don't really cut through. People might be like, what's that noise? Instead of actually realizing what I'm doing.
As a small venue and a little bar, we don't have much of budget to promote the shows. We can't really have ads all over the place. So it's more like a mouth-to-mouth thing. We encourage every artist to invite friends, obviously, so things keep rolling, because this is very essential that we draw a certain amount of people here to enjoy the live music, because from the money we collect as donations and at the door, we really try to provide some money for the artists, and also we have to keep this place running because it's expensive to have a place in Berlin, obviously. And we have to pay the staff, we have to pay for the equipment and for the sound and everything, and for any kind of stuff. So obviously money-wise it's always a struggle, but we are really glad to be part of a cultural scene here in Berlin that we all grew up with and that we really want to endure. And we see the reaction from people that really come from all over Berlin to enjoy a night with us, and especially from the artists that give us a fantastic feedback about the way that we try to host them and give them a platform to perform their music.
Especially here in Berlin, there were so many artists. There are so many places where artists perform. The people, the audience, they're coming, they are used to pay nothing. And of course, this is a situation where artists struggle because they need something to live, and you need money to live. And this is a bit of pity, especially in places like Berlin, because they are so big, they are so huge, there were so many things going on every evening, and the people, for example, when I invite friends to come to my gigs, they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, there was already something else going on," or even they say, "Oh, it costs a bit. Normally it's for free." And this is a bit of pity in places like Berlin. But I think also Berlin is very, very important for networking.
Try to talk to everybody who enjoys live music. For instance, I'm a performer, and it's necessary that everybody understands, especially in times of Spotify and YouTube and where music seems to be freely available. It's very important to support artists because that's what they live off. You know, it's just like they give their heart and sweat and soul into this, and don't shy away to go to a show, to pay properly, but also talk to the artists, give them their support, and follow them on their social media, and buy their records or download their stuff, or whatever it is that you can support an artist, because it's immensely necessary, especially in times where there's it's not so easy anymore that you find a deal with a label, or you have a promotion agency or a booking agency. So when you see a local artist that you really like, support this person because they're really immensely grateful. And from the side of somebody who works in a venue that tries to provide a space for artists, it's basically the same. You know, come here, enjoy the time, and don't shy away, and talk about the place, and also bring friends and help this kind of musical society that we have not to die. Because it's what we see right now, that's a lot of places are not able to finance what they do, and it's nothing anybody gets rich with. It's really just a necessity to feel like to bring like music and joy and entertainment to people in a way that they still can afford it. So I would really be happy for everybody and for every venue and for every musician that we can keep doing this for a long, long time. Thank you.
I really recommend going to the street. It's the best music university you can do. You know, the second you interact with people, you're performing, and that's practice right there. And you know, you kind of see what works, and there's so many factors to what works. You know, every style, every musician is different with, you know, the time, place, repertoire, what you're doing, and how you interact with people. So it's a really beautiful thing for artists.
My biggest advice to young creatives is to own it and do it. People won't always think that it's the right choice, but I strongly believe that it is a part of you, that if you don't just continue to create every day, you will not be your full self. And I think that you need to surround yourself with creative people, and people who are supportive, honest with you, not always like blowing smoke up your ass, but being honest, and just other people who love what they do as well.
It's just to do it. Like, you cannot, you just have to do it. Like, there's no other way. Like, you just have to do it. It's just like anything else. If you don't do it, then you're never gonna either get better. You're not gonna start. You have to start somewhere. You have to be like bad, and you just have to do it. That's That's it, basically.
But it takes time for me to build this up and allow myself, because I'm a full-time musician, so usually night outs are the times I am working. But I feel there is so much possible here in this city, and there's so many color and flavors and ingredients and colors. It's give you a big answer that the sky is the limit in Berlin. That's how it feels.
Perfectionism is the thing that stops us from moving forward so much. To get your instrument, get your mics, and go out and hit these streets. In the art world, you don't need only quality, you need quantity as well. And what I mean by that is you have to play a lot of shows. You have to play a lot of shows to get good. You have to record a lot of songs until you start making good bangers. Maybe you do it from the first try, but the thing is you have to do a lot.